everybody, good evening and welcome to Inner Space Wembley. Our today's theme is the spiritual side of humor. Very interesting topic, and for that today we have our speaker Sharon with us, and Sharon's background in business development and also her career expands over several industries including luxury fashion, charity sector and education. She has been practicing meditation over 15 years, and her recent project which was the research is the health and wellness, and her most recent project for Brent Mencap was featured in Sadiq's Health Inequality Strategy Implementation Plan. So she's a perfect speaker for today's theme. So not taking much of your time, and it's over to Sharon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good, okay. So a comedian I'm not, but I do hope I have a good sense of humour. And you've obviously come here and had a journey tonight. So I ask perhaps for you to maybe just relax, maybe just ground yourself by putting your feet on the floor. Welcome. We've just started, so you're perfectly fine. And I was just saying you've all come a distance, so just relax, put your feet on the floor and just breathe in. Because when we breathe in and expand the diaphragm, there's so many benefits to the body, which I'll go into later, and it's actually connected with humour in many ways. So taking a nice big deep belly breath, like a Buddha belly, breathing in, and just breathing out. And as we breathe out, exhale the breath right into the back of the spine. So we're sucking the breath into the stomach, into the back of the spine, as we exhale the breath. So inhale again, Buddha belly, and just relax. Relaxing the body, coming into the space and into the present moment. Just one more breath, breathing in, coming into the room here, our inner space in Wembley, being present. So I invite you just to have a look at this picture and what it means to you. For me, I think really of spirituality and humour, and I suppose it's more about religion really. We were talking about marketing earlier, and I think perhaps religion per se has got quite a bad press, and it might be ready for a rebranding. Because when I think of religion, I think of it sometimes as being quite pious. But actually, when I came to Brahma Kumaris in 2008, I was in a completely different profession. I was working in the fashion industry in 2008. And when a friend said to me that he was in India, and would I like to join him there? You know you don't like your job. I'd been in the same organisation for 8 years. I thought, okay, I'll go and join him in Delhi. And that's what I did. I only had to work 2 weeks' notice, and I got the plane and I met him at the airport in Delhi, and we went off and explored India. We went to places like Rishikesh and Pushkar, mostly spiritual places we explored. And when I came back, I was offered another job in fashion, but actually I realized now that this isn't where I wanted to be anymore. And I was free, and my mother said to me, "You've never done anything for charity, why don't you go and join a charity, volunteer?" And that's exactly what I did. I volunteered at Brent Mind, and then I started working for Brent Mind, and then other charities, the Prince's Trust and others. And I started going to Brahma Kumaris. Actually, it was in a space in Covent Garden. That was my first call. And I can't remember how I found it, but I suppose I used to go shopping in Covent Garden back then in those days, so I discovered inner space and I did the 7-day course in Covent Garden. And I still didn't know about Willesden, the headquarters in Willesden Green, but actually I was working for Brent Mind and there was a festival in a park nearby. And so I took myself along to the park not knowing about this festival, and I seen all these people in white. And I seen a leaflet and it said Brahma Kumaris, Willesden Green. And I looked at the address and it was actually 15 minutes walking distance from where I live. And I said, are you affiliated with Inner Space in Covent Garden? And they said yes. So I'd gone all the way to India in search of meditation, but I found it on my doorstep. But actually it was a beautiful trip, and you know, I've been back to India many times after that. So I started going to Willesden, the big headquarters in Willesden, and I don't know whether you're familiar with the auditorium in Willesden Green, but it's quite large and it could probably fit up to 1,000 people, I should imagine. But I remember in the early days sitting there at the back, meditating and thinking, if there's no sense of humour in this, I'm not going to be engaged in it. I won't be interested. And it was almost as if I obviously didn't say it aloud, but I thought it aloud. And what happened after that is uncanny, because I had arranged to meet another person from Brahma Kumaris who now lives in Peru, and we'd arranged to meet in a coffee shop for a coffee. So I left the meditation hall that Saturday morning, and when I went to cross the road outside, there was a duck and 6 ducklings crossing this major road in Willesden Green. And I thought, well, what do? I can't leave them. So I stayed with them. And although now I was late for the appointment, I couldn't leave the duck and the ducklings. So what I did, I continued to sort of manage these ducks all the way down the high street. I didn't have my phone with me because I hardly ever brought the phone with me when I was going to do meditation. But I saw a young man and he had a mobile phone, and I just asked him if he wouldn't mind ringing the RSPCA. And so then I left. But it made me think, gosh, that was humorous. You know, when I think about it now, the odds of that happening in such a dry place in Willesden Green. And I just thought to myself, there is a sense of humour in this, if you choose there to be. So we can choose a comedy, a drama, or a tragedy. And I believe that a comedy is divine and it can be full of joy. In fact, there is a band called Divine Comedy. So I think the way we look at spirituality is probably the way that we see it. So the job that I have at the moment, I've had the opportunity to go to different groups, community groups. So today I was at a church in Harlesden, and that was a Pentecostal group. And I asked them about humour. And their church would be quite different, I suppose, to the Church of England or to a Catholic church. They sing, and they actually have quite a lot of joy in their service. And when I spoke to one of the ladies there, she said, you know, it's all about far deeper than anything that I can really talk about, but it is definitely a feeling, you know, this spirituality and joy. So going on to the next one, laughter is a variation of breathing. And what is laughter? Laughter is the reflex, the noise that actually happens from humour. And another thing I realised about humour is that it's actually cultural. So I am working at the moment with somebody who happens to live around the corner in the same village where my father came from in Ireland. And my first week of working with him, I was laughing all week The humour I completely understood, but if I were maybe to talk to somebody else, so for example, I was in the office with this gentleman and a much younger colleague walked in and he said to the director, he said, I'm going to this organisation, what should I wear? And so the director said, oh, you know, smart casual, bowler hat, you know? And, you know, for me, I thought, well, that is so very specific, that humour to where, you know, our family came from. And I was talking to my cousin's son, and he's been studying in Bristol, and said, yes, absolutely, even in Bristol, they have their own sort of sense of humour. So there's all sorts of humour as well. I mean, can anybody name one type of humour? Any type of humour that springs to mind? Sarcasm, yeah. Sarcasm is definitely one of them. And a dry sense of humour. Any others?
A joke.
A joke. A joke. And there's, in fact, yes. I mean, for me, I find comedy is not something that I'm actually entertained by, because I think real life is more entertaining. But it obviously makes a lot of money, and it does very good business. So another group that I went to see yesterday were mostly from Gujarat, and I asked them the same question about humour. And this time I was talking to someone from a younger generation than the person that I spoke to today, and he mentioned the programme What's My Line? So that led us to talk about comedy and jokes. And actually, you know, a lot of comedians are very witty. They do it very naturally and very quickly. And I guess that's wit, just being able to do it on the spur of the moment, you know. Any others that you can think of? Any other genres of humour? Hello. I guess there's slapstick. There is a huge list of different types of humour. So laughter is a variation of breathing. So before you came in, I was just saying it's just the reflex that actually, you know, causes the sound. And actually, laughter has so many different health benefits because we're using the diaphragm. So there are just so many. We'll go on to that. So the physical benefits of laughter: it lowers blood pressure and reduces stress. And actually, people are using it now as a complementary therapy. You might have heard of laughter yoga. So they're using that. They did a study in the University of Granada in Spain. Boosts immune system. They say that people who laugh actually recover from illnesses a lot quicker than people who don't laugh as much. So it boosts the immune system, and it helps to reduce physical tension and muscular stress because we feel more relaxed. And Clive James, the well-known TV presenter, you might have heard of Clive James, Australian TV presenter, he said common sense and a sense of humour are very closely related, but just different speeds. So he said that common sense is a sense of humour dancing. I like that. Increases pain tolerance and reduces the need for painkillers, which is quite phenomenal, really. Increases pain tolerance. And another thing that actually increases pain tolerance that I must give you as well as part of Chinese medicine, because I used it quite a lot when I was in hospital, and that is just pressing just there between your index finger and your thumb, and just in between that area there is a pressure point that reduces pain. Of course, it's not just like a delete button where you do it once and you expect your pain to disappear. No, I mean, you have to do it for at least 10 minutes. And you can do both hands, but it's a very helpful tip. So, coming on to the spiritual aspect of humour and laughter, and that's the interconnectedness. Because when we laugh, it's usually, not always, but it's usually with somebody else. So it connects us, it unifies us, we're sharing something. And actually it's the same when we're singing in groups. There's this connection. That's actually, would anyone like to guess what that is? It's lungs. Thank you. Yes, so whether we're singing in a group or actually laughing in a group, we actually really benefit. And another thing is that you may have heard of the expression, fake it until you make it. The body doesn't know the difference. So I've just been doing a very recent workshop with Harvard University. And if you place a pencil just between your teeth, all of the muscles start working. So you're actually using the muscles as if you're naturally smiling. Your body doesn't know, so you're reaping all the benefits. So I encourage you to go home tonight and find a clean pencil and try that exercise, you know, because if the body doesn't realize that you're faking it, why wouldn't we laugh? Why wouldn't we smile? And it's free. They say it's the best medicine, don't they? So, you know, we don't actually need to use all the medication that we get, really. And I guess what it boils down to is a mindset as well, you know, being light. And when we use humour, and when we're actually not so serious and don't take ourselves too seriously, the mask of ego can then disappear and we can become our true selves. You know, when we were children, we were never frightened to laugh out of place. We just laughed whenever we wanted to. And actually, if you ever work with people with dementia, some of them are less inhibited too, and they laugh. And in fact, it's one thing that I've noticed in the community, working with people with dementia, is that they seem to be very happy and content, all the ones that I've seen. They're very much in the present moment, and their carers who have the responsibility are probably more stressed some of the time than they are. But it's about being present, really. And that's the other side of humour. The spiritual side of humour is the mindfulness. Because when we're laughing, we're very much in that present moment, you know? And so that's another spiritual side. Mindfulness and present moment, you know? Not thinking about the past too much or the future. So that's another unusual thing. There are thousands of languages and hundreds of thousands of dialects. And yet when we laugh, we pretty much all laugh, and maybe a certain different style. I have been told that I laugh like Graham Norton, but you know, but it's the language of laughter is the same, isn't it? You know? And that's quite unique, really. Another thing that singing is similar, because singing also brings us together in that way, and it's universal. Music is universal. So let's prepare to laugh. So I was thinking what we could do is really to maybe experiment a little bit, because I want you to participate too. And maybe just reflect. And what does a sense of humour mean to you? A sense of humour. I mean, if I were to ask you what springs to mind, or who springs to mind when I say a sense of humour, is there any one in particular, or maybe a scenario that you can think of when I say sense of humour?
I have a friend who finds something funny to say about anything, and he creates a joke out of a situation. Very rarely or never have I seen him serious. And I think of him when you mentioned that.
Mic so online people can hear it.
Okay. Yeah, so when you mentioned that, and his name is Anil, so, he comes to my mind.
So has he, Anil, got a sense of lightness about him, would you say?
Yeah, it doesn't take anything serious. And, he finds something funny to say about anything, It's like second nature to him. It just comes to him instantly. Never a dull moment around him.
It's quite unique, I suppose, but
Yes.
It could be a gift. Do you think it can be cultivated? Sense of humour? Is it something, do you think, that can be cultivated over time? Yes? Would you like to say? Yes, please. Maybe introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Lydia.
Hello, Leah.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Thank you for sharing, by the way. Thank you.
Well, I think, yes, it can be cultivated because it just... what my idea of sense of humor is take things not too seriously, or find the positive part of anything or everything. Something that, as you said before, could be a tragedy. You can see everything happens for a reason, that is how we react to the stimuli that we're receiving from the environment. So we can take it seriously, we can get upset, or we can just, take it easy.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Because, there is that sense that, there are things sometimes that people want to laugh at, but we're too nervous perhaps to laugh at them. When you're at school, for example, you'd laugh if someone fell over, but you probably wouldn't laugh if you knew that they hurt themselves. But, yeah, there's that sort of humour. So I was thinking that we could maybe do a little breathing exercise, which then evokes the same type of diaphragm movement as does laughter. I didn't mention that laughter is also good for lymphatic drainage, which is also good for detoxing. Well, that's what it is, really. So when we actually breathe, and does anyone have a breathing practice, a daily breathing practice every day?
Yeah.
No?
I do.
You do. And do you do it with a nap, or
Pardon?
do you do it with a nap or on your own? For example, I do an Instagram live.
No, I do in my own, anytime.
Great.
Anytime, even when I'm working.
Yes.
When I'm in the tube, in the
Yep.
train, when I'm driving.
Yeah.
I try to, to have a mindfulness approach, so to feel, to breathe with my belly.
Yes.
And I started when I was pregnant, actually.
Right. Great.
Yeah, they taught me to try to breathe like this, to release the diaphragm, and it would be helpful for the day that you will give a birth.
Yeah.
And then as well, after as a therapy, was part of my physiotherapy after giving a birth, to do the breathing exercise. So I start to breathe with my belly. It just became natural, because before I used to breathe like this, and so compress the diaphragm. And I've heard that people start to breathe with the lungs instead with the belly around age of 6 years old, when they start the school, and the kids, they start to be nervous and stressed, so they hold the breath, and then we swap from one kind of breathing to another one. Is what they told me.
Well, it's very interesting because I've been seeing a physio recently too, and although I knew a lot about the breath, and I sort of knew that when you inhale, that the stomach should come out like a Buddha belly, but really focusing and engaging the muscles of the diaphragm then to, when you exhale, to really suck in, so that it's sucking your stomach right into the spine. And then you're exhaling at the same time. It seems like an awful lot to think about. It's almost...
It's like a wave.
Yes, it is. And then, as you said, Leah, the more you practice, the more that it just comes to you naturally. In fact, I've been listening to a book on Audible, Atomic Habits. It's a very popular book now in the listings, and it's written by someone called James Clear. But he just talks about doing little things consistently, just every day, maybe starting with 1 minute, and it could be the same for your meditation as well. I'm sure you all know about the Just a Minute app that we have, but if you wanted, it's James Clear is the author, and the book is called Atomic Habits, and I've never listened or read such a practical book. So, for example, if you have problems with drinking water, which I do in winter, he has a paperclip strategy. Has anyone heard of the paperclip strategy?
Paperclip? No.
No. So, you have 2 bowls, and you can make it as creative as you want. I mean, I'm using different coloured paper clips for all the different coloured teas I have, and I'm using buttons for my water. And what you do, every time you have a cup of water, you just put 1 paper clip in the other. So if you want to drink 10 glasses of water, which I aim for but never manage, in the evening at least I've got 7 or 8 buttons or paper clips in my other jar that's been passed. So every morning it's the same thing. So at least you know where you are. You know, someone did ask me, but what happens when you go out? Do you bring the bowls with you? You know, but for me, it's such a brilliant strategy, and that's only one practical suggestion that he has. So I can thoroughly recommend that book. And another thing he does on Audible, at the end of every chapter, he gives you a website with a / and then some sort of word that relates to that chapter that you can look up. Journaling, for example. Atomic Habits.
Okay.
James Clear.
I'm reading a book which is amazing. I would like to suggest, like as a present. This woman is a British woman. She's a psychiatric. I think you heard of her, Tara Swartz. And the book is called The Source. Basically, she's a neuroscientist and psychiatric, yeah? And she's Indian. She has Indian background. And this book is the book I was looking for ages, because it's the match, it's the mix between Indian spirituality, meditation, awareness, and the scientific explanation of our brain works. I'm telling you this because you're talking about atomic habits.
Yes.
So it's create a new pathway, neuronal pathway. So when we practice something in a daily basis, can be 1 minute, 2 minutes, small task, small habits, like drink water. It's gonna take 20, 21 days by science. Other more complex habits, it's gonna take longer. And if you practice every day in your brain, the neuron, they're gonna create a new pathway. So it's gonna become automatic, and helps with practical exercise, like journaling, how become aware, and everything we do involve all our, the minds, the spirits, the emotion, speak about love, speak about everything. And this was one of the scientific explanation about create a new habits.
Oh, thank you very much, Leah. That sounds like a
that
great
book.
book.
I'm suggesting that book to everyone.
Yes, so it was called Souls?
The Source.
The
Tara,
Source.
The Source. Tara Swart is amazing.
Tara, and the surname?
Swart.
S-W?
A-R-T.
S-W-A-R-T, that's great. So that's one to look out.
Tara.
The book's called The Source, and the author is Tara Swart. Lovely, thank you, Leah. That's great. So we've had some newcomers arrive, so because they've also had journeys, let's just take this opportunity maybe, but please take notes if you need to, that's fine, just to check in again, and maybe we'll do a little bit of just this breathing first of all, and maybe we can go into just a little bit of laughter yoga as well, perhaps, and just really relax. So remember the fake it till you make it. So find your inner smile. You can close your eyes, or if you're not comfortable doing that, you can just look at the carpet or gaze very softly. And I invite you to actually use the mudra of your thumb and your ring finger. And you can place that just on your thighs or wherever is comfortable for you. Now this symbolizes the earth and the fire. So we've got the thumb and the ring finger, earth and fire, and it's very grounding. So just find your inner smile. And by that I mean just maybe stretch gently the lips left to right, a smile. It uses 43 muscles, a smile, 43 muscles. And as I mentioned to the people that were here earlier, the Harvard University suggests placing a pencil between your teeth, and then you're actually creating a smile, and the body will reap the benefits. So let's go back into our grounding. So at this stage now we can just create a root to ground us, and imagine that we have a tail, and that tail is going gently into the earth, finding its way into the many layers, infiltrating the earth, the layers, and out of that tail, maybe like roots, going further and further down, really grounding you, feeling the support of the chair under you, and really feeling grounded. And now we're going to inhale a nice deep through the nostril, inhale right deep into the belly, and exhale. And remember that technique of really sucking the stomach right into the spine as we release. Breathing again in, inhale for a count of 4, and see if we can very slowly exhale for a count of 6. Exhaling. Relaxing the jaw, reminding you that the smile there, the inner smile, is lighting up your aura, and your aura is lighting up the room. And then your aura is extending outside of the room onto the high street, and the light is just shining, and your inner smile is glowing. And your light is now extending into the center of London and beyond, inner London, greater London. And that light, that glow is extending into the countryside and beyond the country, sending healing rays of light to England, Great Britain, to Europe, and to the world. And your breath now should be natural, feeling relaxed, feeling really grounded. Your smile is still there. Your smile is growing. Your heart is light. And your heart is full of joy. Breathing in and out naturally now. And now that we feel grounded, we can perhaps get some energy moving. And by that now, we can do that. We can close our eyes still, but we can just maybe tap onto our shoulders and down the arm. Down the outside of the arm and then up the inside of the arm, tapping. Again, the shoulder going down, the outside of the arm, and tapping up the inside of the arm. And one more time, down from the shoulder, tapping. We're working on meridians of the body now, and up on the inside. And then we're going to go over to the other side. And we're going onto the shoulder now. And now we can open our eyes so you can actually see what I'm doing. And we're going up and down again like we did. Up and down. So really getting the meridians of the body, the energy now moving. Up and down and up and down. And another one that's very good for the mood, for low mood, is underneath the armpit. And that's up and down. Again, we're working on meridians of the body. Don't forget your smile. Remember, we're faking it until we make it. So the body reaps the benefit. And then the other arm. Here. Okay. And now to really change the energy, I invite you to all stand up. So we're going to just tap on the thymus here. And again, smile. Smile, I'm breathing in. Don't forget the breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And now, as we go to release through the mouth, we're going to actually release with a sound like a big sigh. So inhale first of all, through the nose and out. In again. And really feel it, feel good. As if there's a whole release from the body. And then we're going to go on to our laughter yoga. So what we're going to do here, we're going to tap twice with the hands. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then a cha-cha-cha. 1, 2, 3. So we've got 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. 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 Give yourselves a big round of applause. Very good. Now how do you feel?
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, you feel wonderful. You see, that's humour, and thank you all for being so up for it, because that's important too. you know. So, yeah, I think I feel much more energetic than I did earlier. Would anyone like to comment on the before and after, how they feel? Anyone want to say how they feel? Do you find a change in energy?
Oh, yes.
Yes?
More like light.
Yes. And how long did we spend? Yes? It's so easy. How long was that exercise?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. And we probably burned a few calories. I didn't mention one of the obvious benefits of the laughter, of course, is reduces depression and anxiety. I mean, that's major. And I did mention that the University of Granada have done studies. In fact, if you're interested, there's quite a lot of different universities that have done research. One was on the immune system, and one was on the attention that I mentioned earlier. So the benefits of having a sense of humour are completely, yeah. I think if you haven't got one, start cultivating one. So let's see what we've got. I think that was it, really, because we're almost time already. It's time, I think, for questions and answers. Has anyone got any questions? Any questions? Oh, there is another book, actually, which I guess is on the same lines in many ways for the sense of humour and just seeing the light side of everything, seeing the light side of life. But I think it's also about having the intention to be light. And you may have heard of a book called The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. The Surrender Experiment. Yes, it's just about surrendering to life. And I've been doing this now, I'd say, I didn't know about the book, I'd been doing it anyway, but a yoga teacher told me that she'd been reading it. So again, I just downloaded it. It's called, he's Michael Singer. His most famous book is Untethered Soul. But The Surrender Experiment is just really about not worrying too much about what life brings you, but just going with it, not resisting it too much. So if something doesn't happen for a reason, just realizing, accepting it, and that's okay. But there's much more to this book as well, and that's another good recommendation. Have you got that, Leah? Yeah, it's a good one. And in fact, the other day, by coincidence, I seen a lady on the tube reading Untethered Soul, and it looked so nice to see someone reading a book. And I thought, wow, I haven't seen someone read a book for so long on the tube. It's normally mobile phones, but it was nice. It was so nice.
I have always my books, and almost everyone.
Yeah. Yes.
Sharon, there's one question.
Yes?
How do you use humor for healing and acceptance rather than a way of escapism? Because sometimes when life is tough, people laugh about it and use it as an escape route, like putting things under the carpet and just not, like, don't care attitude. But there's always that scars and stuff which is accumulated. So how would one use humor as a healing process or a process of acceptance rather than a process of escapism?
Well, I think that's a very good question and it's one that we spoke about today, because culturally, my roots are Irish, my parents were Irish, and the Irish are quite well known for their humour. And it made me wonder, was it because they were actually using it as a coping strategy many years ago, hundreds of years ago perhaps, or even in more modern times when they were challenged when they came to this country for the first time. And there's a big question mark there. I don't know, so that is a very good question. Humour in healing, well, I can only really talk from my own personal experience. And I've had 2 major surgeries in less than a year, and the consultants have said that my recovery has been phenomenal. And after 1 week, I was using Qigong. I was waiting for the physios to come to me. They didn't come, so I got out of the bed and I started with my phone using the chair yoga and chair Qigong first of all. Again, so I would say the humour, again, as mentioned, is more of a, the reflex of that, the noise is laughter, so I connect the two. I connect the laughter with the breathing because, again, we're using something, energy, in motion. We're moving energy. So I would say that the humour, the laughter, is creating the energy that moves, that's able to heal.
Anyway, even if you're putting something under the carpet, as we asked, because as we said before,
there are like 50 people online listening to you.
Sorry. I think it's gonna heal anyway, because as we said, you said before, and I heard many times, our brain, it doesn't know the difference. It's not that much between reality and visualization.
Yes.
So sorry, my English. In fact, when we watch a movie, comedy or horror movie, we have those feelings. So if we force ourselves to smile, maybe we're not facing the situation right now or with that person, but you're gonna have only benefit from it.
Yes.
Because it's the experiment that if you put a pen in your teeth and you force the smile, the brain doesn't know the difference, so you're benefiting from it. So if you try to take the light thing, I'm doing this, and this, today I had university class, and I miss it, I skip it to come here, because it came naturally. A few months ago, I was like depressed a bit, overwhelmed, so I started to say, okay, I'm gonna put a smile even if I don't want. And everything started to change, even people around me. People smile at you when you smile.
They do.
If they don't know you, they do. So what's wrong if we put something under the carpet? We're doing face exercise.
Yes. Yeah, I encourage everyone to do it. Just walking down the street, it's done naturally when we go out into the countryside where there's less people. People do just smile. I've just come back from the countryside recently. In England or in London, it's a little different. However, if anyone goes out very early in the morning on Christmas Day, everyone is friendly, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It happened in London as well. When you smile.
Yes.
Because I was convinced this is hectic life, a hectic town. There's no time to socialize. But it's not true. It's just about how we see things. What we choose to see. It's everything inside.
Absolutely.
So me at work, I'm like this. And when people come there is, please, and then the mood change for everyone. Yeah.
It really increases your vibration.
Yeah.
And then that again is, the higher the vibration, again, the connectedness, spirituality, and with the divine, because you're creating that space for not only people, but for the universe to hear you. Yeah. So when you're creating this wonderful frequency of vibration, it's the aura that people do notice.
Absolutely.
And that dogs notice it very much. And it happens a lot when you start to meditate and spend time in silence. It really does. Is there anyone here who doesn't meditate? I'm sure you all meditate. In fact, it's that time now. If you haven't got any questions and answers, we'll go into a little meditation for the last few minutes. So
the message I'm getting out of this talk is...
thank you, Leah. Thank you for your input. It was lovely.
So the message...
Thank you.
Can you hear me? Yeah. The message I'm getting out of this talk is that this is because I'm going through this period of anxiety in my life at the moment. Despite having dealt with all the logical questions and answers to it, and then I come to the conclusion that no, there is no harm, there's no loss to me in this situation as such. The fear doesn't go. It keeps cropping up every now and then. I'm coping quite well with it. It's not a matter of life or death. It's okay. But this has given me a new dimension to it, to just relax and laugh and the exercise we did is really relaxed me.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
Yes.
That really, makes me very happy to hear. And thank you for sharing that information as well.
Thank you.
It's very helpful to other people to
you.
know. Yeah. Thank you. I didn't catch your name.
Paresh.
Paresh. Thank you, Paresh. But it was wonderful to share this space with everyone today and this evening. And thank you for coming here rather than your university. Thank you, Leah, and for your input too. Thank you. So just going back into our grounding again and maybe using that two-finger technique again. And that's the thumb mudra with the ring finger. And just relax now. Breathing in and breathing out. Knowing that right now, in this moment in time, you're safe. Nothing to worry about. Relax the eyes, relax the brows, the space between the brows, relax. Relax the scalp, relax the shoulders, feel the shoulders melting down the body, relaxing the upper arms, relax. Relax the forearms are relaxed. The chest is relaxed. Focus on the heart. It's glowing, the green light, the color of the heart chakra, green, a light green glow fills the body, relaxing the body. The body is relaxed. Feeling content, the inner smile is in the heart throne. The inner smile lights up the body, heals the body. Heals the emotions. Heals the brain. Relaxing now the torso, the hips, relaxing the pelvis as it sinks into the chair, supported by the chair. And you are supported by the universe, far more than you realize. You're supported. Relaxing now the shins are relaxed. Coming to the ankles, the right ankle, the left ankle are both relaxed. The soles of the feet supported by the earth, are relaxed. The big toe, the little toe, and all the toes between are relaxed. You are now relaxed, content, happy, accepting and surrendering to what is, to life, the joy of life, and knowing that every day, as you start your day, you can choose the comedy, the drama, or the tragedy, and you can choose joy. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon, for the wonderful talk and all the tools and tips given. Before we go, here's a few announcements. I think our next week, same time, same place, and the topic is sensible living in chaotic world. We do have a guided meditation in-house every Mondays and Thursdays, 7 to 7:30. So everybody's welcome on that. And this Sunday, no, sorry, not Sunday, Saturday, 4th of November, we do have a self-esteem course in afternoon, 2 to 4 p.m., which is in-house as well. So you guys are more than welcome to join. And we do have a self-esteem. Yeah, 4th of November in afternoon, 2 to 4 p.m. And we do have a Diwali celebration in here on 14th of November, which is the Tuesday again, but the date is 14th of November, will be the same time. And based on today's theme, we do have a book called Stepping into Happiness. It's available in the shop, so you can browse through on your way out. So once again, thank you for joining us, and thank you to our online viewers for joining us, and have a safe journey back home. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.